is there happiness if there's no suffering? How can you be happy if you're not unhappy?
I mean, if you're, it's even hard to define happy without using the word maybe unhappy or sad. Like to always use the opposite of it. You know, it's like defining the day without using the word night or dark or.
Exactly. How can you enjoy eating if you're not hungry? Hunger is not it's not it's not a positive feeling. It's not something that people like. Oh, I'm hungry. When you say, "Oh, I'm hungry," you're not very joyful. You want to eat. So, do you like to be hungry or no? So actually, you have to like to be hungry because this brings you the feeling of happiness when you eat. So, looking for happiness, we have also to look for suffering. You see where it's bringing us. I told you it will maybe bring us nowhere, and this is the goal. Huh? The goal is to the goal is to go nowhere. For people who would like to go somewhere, they should watch other kind of videos. Or they should take a taxi or train. This can bring you somewhere. Let's go back to the happiness coming from the inside or the outside. We said with the food, the dog eating the food. We said, oh, okay, so the cause of the happiness coming from the outside, it's the food, but actually the food is triggering a chemical reaction, so it becomes in the inside. So you see, outside and inside, it's very linked. Food is simple, we said. Let's see something else. You receive a letter from a friend that you like a lot. It's been many years you haven't heard from him. He said, "Oh, I miss you very much. I liked the time we spent together." Blah blah blah. A very beautiful letter, which never happens nowadays. If it happens, if you're lucky, maybe you get an email, and still.
I don't even know the address of my friends.
So you can already forget this kind of happiness. But imagine.
Very nice ancient scenario that you made.
Imagine it happens. Imagine you're living like 1,000 years ago and it happens to you. So you feel happy. So again, the question is, what's the cause of the happiness? Is it the letter, the piece of paper, or it's the meaning you give to the letter? Because this is not the letter that you will, it's not a piece of paper that you will put into your mouth to eat it. I mean, you could, but maybe you will not be happy if you do this. So where does the happiness come from?
And again, like you, just to come back to what you said earlier, this is also maybe, this is connected to the the feeling that I had before about this friend. Maybe I was missing this person, you know? Like it's about the positive and the negative in the life. Like if I miss this person, then I will love this letter. If this person writes me a letter every day and I don't miss this, I'm probably not that happy.
Him again.
Damn it. So it's about also the experience of the opposite. Like maybe the more you miss the person, the higher is your happiness.
Exactly. But where does it come from? But what's the cause of the happiness? It's probably, I mean, we can agree that it's the meaning you give to the letter.
Yes.
So this meaning that you give. Okay, so now let us talk more generally. The letter is an event. It can be a letter, it can be an email, it can be your boss gives you more money, it can be you win in the lottery, it could be your company becomes very successful, it can be, I don't know. Huh? Those are events. All of those are events. So what makes you happy? The event or the meaning you give to the event?
The meaning you give to the event.
The meaning you give to the event. Okay. How do you give a meaning to an event? how do you choose which meaning you give? Does it happen automatically, or do you have choices? Like, for example, there's an event. I don't know. You slap me on the face, or you write me a love letter. Those are two different events. How can I give meaning to an event like this, to any event?
You probably check if it's good for you or good for people that you love, and this is something that happens very automatic because you learned it for so many years. You know, since you're a baby, you start to differentiate between events if they bring you joy or not. So if it's good for you,
You see, it's like the little dog, you know, when the dog is a baby, and you're trying to explain to the dog that it's not a good thing if he's peeing in the house. So when he's peeing in the house, you punish him. How you punish? You look at him like this. This is not good. And the dog is looking at this is an event, okay? This when you do this to the dog, or you punch him like this, or whatever you would do, you know. An event is an event, okay? The dog looks at you. You see, like, what's happening? You know, he's happy. You know, what's wrong? You know, I don't understand. How would you train a dog to so that he doesn't pee in the house?
you bring him outside to pee regularly, and you do the opposite. Instead of punishing, you reward him.
Okay, he goes outside. When he pees outside, you reward. You give him a reward. What's the reward you give him?
Like a play or a praise or food, whatever.
Okay, so the dog
He's connecting.
connecting, connecting. Okay, I go, I pee outside, and actually, this is like a positive event. Is it really positive? This is where I want to come to. You know, whether it's a reward or punishment. This means that at the end, those are events. You see, we already label them punishment and reward. This is our craziness. Where does it come from? Our unconscious mind. We think like this already, you see, because we are trained dogs. But why is it a positive event? So it means that if you train me like a dog, so me, I would think, okay, so if I go and I don't know, be outside, I really think it's positive event. Can you show me where is the positivity in it? What's positive about it? It's just conditioning.
It's conditioning, of course. It's conditioning because of social relations, you know, like because we look for love, we look for approval, whatever, or we look for not being hurt, you know, we could look for food, like we play with our basic instincts, no?
Exactly. So it's conditioning. So when we say it's conditioning, in terms when we talk about it on the scale of a society, then we can talk about cultural. It's cultural conditioning. It's culture. If you become rich, people will look at you and they will praise you. They will say, "Oh, this is a positive achievement," and you will feel, you will say, "Oh, I'm happy because this is really positive," and you will really think it's positive. But why?
Because of conditioning.
Because like the dog, he pees outside, he gets a little treat, and the dog really thinks, "Oh yeah, what I'm doing is right." So if you take this thing and you go into political system or cultural system or religious system, because they're all like, those are for me they're synonyms, you know, then you will find things, discover things where we think we know what's positive for us and we are convinced about it, but actually we don't know. Not only we don't know, but also we've never thought about it. So look how many millions of automatisms we have like this, especially about happiness. We have stereotypes, ideas, but we never question or we don't question them deeply or as deep as possible to see what's really positive, what is really happiness, what's really behind the feeling of happiness, apart from this conditioning, this treat that you will get. Or you say also, yeah, I mean, I know, but I want to live like this. I want to live like a dog. I'm happy. I'm happy to live like this.
But I mean, this is already this. But this, I mean, is already something that probably the Greek philosophers, they also talked about this. No, or like all the civilizations, like I don't know, Chinese philosophy, Indian or Buddhist or whatever. I mean, they all talked about this. You know, like, are we not any wiser than people 2,000 years ago? Or like, didn't we learn anything about this?
All all traditions, all philosophies, all big philosophers talked about happiness, talked about wisdom more than happiness. Wisdom is maybe the art of being happy, not just this chemical temporary reaction. Because the dog is having a treat, he's happy. Then he's bored. Then he's not happy because you punish him, you tell him, oh no, you ignore him. Then he's happy again, and then he's not happy, then he's happy again. Like us. We are not better equipped necessarily. This is how we are living for now. What we want, we make an experience to be happy. We go. I mean, what's your plan today? What are you going to do? If you see what you're going to do, you see. I mean, you're running after moments of happiness.
So maybe the goal should not be happiness, but to look for other values, like wisdom, like I don't know, freedom, justice. I don't know, like maybe there are other values in our life that we should
dig into. See, there's maybe a deeper meaning to our life, much deeper, much more meaningful than just those mere states. Maybe the states are deep, but the way we are running after, we are like running after this. We are here, we want to go there. Yeah, but if you go there, then you will go back here. So this is just
like junkies.
now, for example, look, now I'm not sick. I don't have migraine. I don't have cold. I don't have nothing. Do I feel happy because I'm not sick? I'm healthy. Do I feel happy because I'm healthy? Okay, let's say yes. You ask me from 0 to 10, on which scale I'm happy because I'm healthy. Oh, maybe 7. But look, if I'm sick, and then I get healthy again. Hey, these people, they experience this. You can be sick, you get a cold, you catch a cold for 1 week, and then you get healthy again. So beautiful. Then you feel much happier than when you are healthy. But you're at you're the same state. And yeah, of course. I mean, if now I'm telling you I'm healthy, but I'm not like a happy 9 on 10. I'm happy 7 on 10 because I'm healthy. But I was sick before. I don't know. Last year, I spent, for example, let's say 1 week in the bed, and I was sick, not able to move, very weak. Then after this week, I felt healthy again, exactly like I'm healthy now. But because I'm healthy, I'm experiencing a level of happiness that is 9 on 10. Let's say, to give it a number, even if I don't like numbers. Talk about feelings, but to communicate. So, what's the cause of my happiness? Is it the fact that I'm healthy, or it's the fact that I was sick? So the answer is both. It's the fact that I was sick and then happy. Healthy alone doesn't bring you too much. So again, we are in this kind of entanglement of what we call bad things and good things. We call them like this, those events. We call them like this, but we need both of them to actually be happy.
So maybe we should look for other values that guide us instead of looking for this up and down, and it will come with it automatically. You know, I mean, every event now, anyways, we are how do you call it? Conditioned to see it either as good or bad. But maybe like striving or looking for happiness should not be the method. No.
Yeah, it could be that at the end, looking for happiness is like a cow looking for food. And it's okay, but you spend all your life looking for happiness.
You have to know that it's always up and down, anyways. Huh? I think to be aware of it, it changes a lot already. No.